And here we are. Usually there's a little thinger on the top that shows when people start watching, and hopefully people will start watching.
If I would have known we were going live, I would have marketed it. Part of what I do with the Uplift.
I don't have a whole ton of people, but if that's part of what you do, I'm going to start asking questions about that here in just 33 seconds. So I think there are some people. Welcome to Jen's awesome show. I am here with Leora, who I just met, and we're going to get to know each other a little bit. So, Leora.
Yes, Jen.
What are you grateful for right now?
I'm grateful for meeting the Banksy of the Uplift. I've heard so much about you for months. I've seen your beautiful work, and to put a smile and a face to all that is super incredible.
I'm equally grateful to be meeting you. I know almost nothing except that every time I mention your name, somebody says something really wildly pleasant and friendly and awesome, and so you must be a wonderful person. So let's find out.
Well, I have my moments, right?
I think everyone does. So this is good. So, what is the uplift to you?
Wow, that's such an all-encompassing question, Jen. The uplift is life-changing. It is, I guess you could say, Minecraft is an engine that would not be quite what it is without Corey and Blue and the entire team that they've surrounded themselves with. So the uplift, it's a metaverse full of opportunity for everyone, young and old, kids, noobs like me who don't know how to play and find themselves, awkward, as well as people who are super knowledgeable about it. And we all come together and you make friends, you make a family. For me, that's really what I've experienced and seen with the uplift is the community, the kumbaya, that it's really a beautiful vibe, I have to say. From the community and strangers coming together, helping one another, supporting one another, asking questions, answering, ideation happening in the community to just that whole beautiful vibe. And the fact that Corey and you guys, because you're part of the CK7, that you have this beautiful tradition of gratitudes really speaks to me. And it spoke to me from the get-go, even when I knew nothing about what was really going on, and I just signed up to that Telegram community. So yeah, I mean, this it's life-changing.
That is fantastic. And so, who are you to the uplift?
Oh, who am I to the uplift? I guess I'm the person that will fill in some holes, do things that need to get done really fast. I'll put up a web page. Excuse me. I'll put up a web page. I'll do some copywriting. On occasion, I'm doing some marketing for Uplift World, UpliftArt, and Legend, strategic business alliances that I'm working on. So a little bit of everything, which is a wonderful position to be in, quite frankly, because you get the flavor of the whole gist of the companies. I'm in a good position. I love it. Lucky.
That's awesome. Now I know who to go to for those things.
For sure. I can't wait.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're in Montreal. Are you from Montreal?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay, excellent. So do you speak French?
I do.
Oh, good.
But I'm English. I'm one of the minority here, so I'm English first. But all my schooling was done in French, so quite the bilingual. Sometimes I think in French and speak in English, and sometimes things come out a little bit what we call franglais, half French, half English.
That's fantastic. I was just curious. My kids are doing French immersion, so it's an interesting experience that way. I don't speak a whole lot of French. They've learned a ton. I'm pretty sure my daughter in kindergarten knows more than I do. But
well, do her lessons, Jen. You'll learn.
Oh yeah, well she's giving me lessons and it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, that's great, actually.
Yeah. So have as someone who is an English speaker in Quebec, What's the biggest challenges you've ever faced?
Personally, I haven't really faced challenges. And I can tell you, even in business, the fact that I was, I guess you could say, subjected, but it was to my advantage when I was a young girl because of the laws here and the language laws, they made you, as an English person, go to French school. So all my schooling was done in French with 1 hour of English, including math and all of that. So when I got older, I mean, I was bilingual, whereas some of my counterparts who are francophones, they didn't have access to English. And so they go into the workforce, Jen, and they're unilingual. I'm bilingual. And you could just imagine the fact that I can negotiate or speak with US companies. I end up getting, I remember there was one situation where you're talking, many moons ago, but I was in a company and they offered me $30,000 a year more than they would offer the same position to another girl working. And it caused a little bit of issues for her, which is normal. It's normal.
Mhm.
But yeah, unfortunately for some of the francophone people who didn't have access, it was a little bit of a, not a weakness, but it didn't help the situation for them. So other than that, I don't really, being in Montreal, there's no negative repercussions to being an anglophone. I would imagine when you're in Quebec City or somewhere it's more French, there could potentially be that issue of, oh, you're English, maybe I'll give this position or favor a more francophone person. But my French my English accent to the French people is usually quite endearing, so they like that because if I'm missing a word, they like to be able to help me, and they'll give me that word for instance. So it was always fun.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. So, for anyone who's watching who is not from Canada, can you give a really brief overview of the language laws that you mentioned?
Well, in Quebec, it works a little bit differently in terms of quite a few different laws. So immigration is all, and healthcare is all a power of the Quebec government, which doesn't happen in the rest of the country. Language laws here, um, if you're a native Quebecer but you're Anglophone, you are required to go to French school. Up until probably the end of high school. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's still the same thing. The law requires for the French people, they don't have access to English language other than 1 hour. Right now, I think they're in a debate to determine at what age should a young francophone, excuse me, a young francophone be exposed to more English language education. Other than that, uh, signage laws, you've got, what I call the sign police. If you're a business, your sign has to be, well, the English part of your sign has to be at least 50% smaller than the French lettering. Otherwise, you get some big fines and things like that. So, yeah, it is a little bit unconstitutional from an international standpoint, but it works, I guess.
That is interesting. I'm going to bet that there are a whole bunch of people who are suddenly surprised by that because that's a very Canadian thing.
Or anti-Canadian to walk around
Well,
and look
yeah,
at the signs on a storefront and say, "Hey, your typography is not quite 50% smaller. Your English is too big." So yeah, there is a little bit of
yeah,
that craziness going on, But as a Montrealer, you kind of get used to it. I've lived
yeah,
that
you
way,
would.
right?
Yeah, absolutely, you totally would. So, how did you find the uplift?
I found the uplift quite by a circular route. I have my own company for the last 20 years doing business consulting and coaching and strategic innovations. And I was looking for some new innovations and innovative ways for a particular client to go to market with a certain launch. And I started to do some research. I found a metaverse called Decentraland. I found another one called, I believe it was Uplands, if I remember correctly. And then I found the Uplift. And being on Telegram with some clients and things like that, I looked them up. I joined their group when I think there was maybe about 400 or 500 people in there, and I was blown away. Seriously, blown away by the people. Everybody was so upbeat. They were so engaged. Now I've got a lot of Telegram groups that I'm a part of, from crypto groups to business groups, and this was the happening place. People were talking. Then you get Corey, who's, I refer to him as Super Corey. Then you get Corey, who's so upbeat, and he's great at, like, hyping up the excitement, and he'll leave just a few little crumbs of greatness, so you're like salivating for the whole story, and you're waiting on beta. He's like a master of anticipating the next
Yeah.
moment, and I loved the vibe. It just spoke to me. It just evoked certain feelings from me. And so then I reached out in the group and I said, hey, if you ever need any help or strategy or marketing stuff, let me know. And M Blue actually said, hey, love that. And he set up a meeting with himself, Corey, and myself, and I guess the rest is history.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, it's I consider myself extremely lucky. Really, really lucky. The whole group of people are super geniuses, smart, they're motivated. Everybody's got this quirky kind of personality. So you can always count on going in the telegrams or the slacks or any of our groups, and somebody's going to have a cool joke or a cool meme. It's just fabulous.
It really is. So, switching topics a little bit here. When I first heard of you, Corey mentioned you, or maybe it was somebody else. I don't think it was Corey. I think it was somebody else. But somebody mentioned you having something to do with an organization and illustrations for children or something along those lines.
Uh-oh, somebody's letting the cat out of the bag. No,
There
I'm just
might be
kidding.
a cat in the bag. If the cat's supposed to stay in the bag, we can leave it there. But if the cat can go out of the bag,
No,
I'd
this
love to know
is,
more.
yeah, no, this is a project that I'm working on in conjunction with M Blue. Certain things will leave until they're actually official, but it's quite an interesting opportunity with a large organization in the US, fundraising organization that deals with children and art. And um, we want to find a great way to help them fundraise, do that whole philanthropic, charitable endeavor, while maybe opening up a new way to look at, the Uplift World and Uplift Art. So there's two different opportunities there that we're currently iterating on and working on, and I think that this hits home really with everything the Uplift World is already all about, and Uplift Art. So it's quite the project, and I'm really excited about it because children are using art to empower children, to help them, foster their empathy, their collaborative spirit. All of that really is something that's near and dear to my heart. So if we can bring this in a way that's the win-win-win economy that, M Blue and Corey always talk about, and I think we can, because we've got some really super fantastic ideas that's going to also benefit the whole entire Uplift community, all the people in there. So that's what we're trying to create, something that's just so all-encompassing and that everybody's going to be proud to be part of. So yeah, it's an
That's
exciting part.
exciting.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, I will be calling on your creative genius, Jen, as the Banksy of the Minecraft world, to maybe help us out with some stuff. So yeah, it's great
Well,
for collaboration in that
I
way.
would love that. And
Yay!
I also happen to have a building partner who would also be interested in helping out too. So he
Who's your
handles
building partner?
my husband.
Oh, awesome
Hi.
sauce!
He does all the amazing redstone things and
Wow.
also a whole ton of other creative things that I don't know how to do yet. Yet.
Would that be who is your husband?
Russell.
Russell. So I'm going to be reaching out to Russell and the whole CK7, Katie and Sue.
Oh
I
yeah,
have some interesting, juicy little things going on, and this should get your YouTube viewers to take note and to keep watching, listen for
definitely.
some things that I'll try to be, or I'll get Corey to be the one that like sort of, because he's a master. He's a master
Yes,
at
drop
planting those
something and then
seeds.
leaves. That would be great.
Exactly.
Yes, that will be a ton of fun. So, question for you then. If you could make a gigantic mess with no repercussions, no budget, no cleanup, what would you do?
What would I use to make the mess, or what would I do?
What kind of a mess would you make? What would it look like? How would it feel?
I would probably take 3,000 different cereal boxes, dump them all over either my house or the courtyard in back of my house, and create some sort of fun, fluffy, marshmallowy place to jump in and have everybody have fun and have some marshmallow and cereal fights. That's what I would do.
That sounds absolutely wonderful.
You coming along, Jen? You gonna come and have a
Oh yeah,
marshmallow? Okay, cool.
that definitely sounds fun. I like that.
Bring out the young kid in myself, sure.
Yep. So this kind of sort of leads in. The uplift seems to be for everybody, but the demographic that's missing on the social media, for probably pretty obvious reasons, would be kids. What are your thoughts on ways to include kids in the uplift? Should we include kids in the uplift? What thoughts do you have?
So it's tricky because what age are you speaking of, right? 7 year
Mhm.
olds, 6 year olds don't usually have cell phones. And I mean, unless we create a specific kids world to go in, you'd have to have parental consent. But on social media, if they are a little bit older, 9, 10, a lot of them have access. So should we include kids? Absolutely. It's part of the projects I'm working on. How to include them and get them excited. I mean, there are so many different strategies that you can use. A lot of these kids, if you're looking at 10, 11, 12, they're on Snapchat, they're on TikTok. So you can make some really cool little Minecraft videos showing that eventually you're going to soon, in the next probably few days, be able to fly around a certain area of the Uplift world, which is just for kids that we're creating right now, and get them engaged. Really, where I feel it's most important, and again, you're talking to a noob when it comes to Minecraft, right? So there's some weird things that go on that I've seen on YouTube videos in Minecraft. But where I feel for kids that it's most engaging and can have a real impact is obviously the exploring your artistic talent, collaboration. You can come in game and meet new friends from all over the world. There is that coding part of it, which I don't really know very well. I've seen a bit in some tutorials. So there's so many learning opportunities there that I feel parents would be like remiss not to find a way to bring their kids into the Uplift world and the Minecraft world all at once. So reaching out to them will have to include some of the places they already hang out. And of course, we'll have to include something that's really kid friendly and keep them away from any potential dangers that there might be.
Okay, that all sounds really well thought out,
Oh,
which is great. Yeah, I've been curious about this for a while. I've seen Yoshi's posts on Twitter, and I'm just kind of quietly twiddling my thumbs, like, okay, do we get to find out more ever? No, no, not today. So I'm curious, very curious to know.
Yoshi's project is a little bit different. Well, quite a bit different from the kids, and then he also his daughter will be one of the kids involved in this sort of proof of concept that we're actually working on right now. It's in the Genesis world of the Minecraft, so we're working on that now. I'm going to tell you to fly by in a couple of days. You'll see the beautiful logo that Gary and I are working on right now.
That would be so exciting.
Yeah.
So, why is it so important for children to be exposed to art?
Well, I'm going to quote a wonderful doctor that I'm currently working with, this strategic alliance that we're talking about. And for him, art is the gateway towards teaching kids empathy and collaboration. I totally resonate with that. Um, Art is subjective. You can make, as you see, even in the NFT world. Personally, I would never buy a crypto kitty for $40,000 because it's, to me, in my view, it's like something I could have made in grade two, right? But for other people, this is like beautiful art. Similarly, with kids, they've got such incredible imaginations. And to be able to feel empowered by using that imagination to create something that expresses their feelings, their viewpoint is primordial. Like for me, there's nothing more important than giving kids the ability to express their wonderment, their feelings, their whole vibe. So art is a conduit through which kids can totally express themselves, and adults can then understand where they're coming from, collaborate together. I feel it's just something that brings people together, whether you're young or old, by the way. Whether you're young or old, if I'm watching you and I don't know you in the game in Minecraft, and I just happen to fly by and see you creating something beautiful, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, hey, who are you? What's your name? And that's beautiful. And we're going to sort of be able to bond that way. So that's what one of the benefits of art and bringing it in Minecraft is.
Definitely, definitely. What is your favorite children's book?
Slowpoke at the Circus. And it's so rare that anybody would know that book, but it's this random book. And I had a headhunter many, many years ago who asked me a similar question, and I told him this. And he then hunted it down on eBay and sent it to me. So I have it somewhere still in a box right now. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. And this question's a bit more personal.
Oh,
Do you
go
know a
ahead.
good place to buy French children's books online?
I absolutely do not.
Okay.
You'd have to ask my husband that. He's a French native French speaker. I
Okay.
mean, if I was if I was to say anything, I would go on eBay. Go on eBay and try to look for French books, or even
Okay.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon. Here in Quebec, it might be Indigo, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
My kids are like a lot older. They're in the army. One's a lieutenant in the Navy. So
Oh gosh.
kids books. It's a long time
Yeah.
since that's happened.
Yes, it is. So, when I write up this interview for the blog, what music should I be listening to and why?
Oh, listen to either one of Corey or M Blue's songs because they're uplifting. I mean, I pretty much listen to the gratitude song every day. M Blue just put up a song. At least I just saw it like I think 5 days ago on his YouTube. That was like mind blowing. Wow. And I told this to Corey, so I don't mind saying it outright. When I first got involved and signed up to the Uplift and Uplift Art, I went to go troll Corey's Facebook profile, and literally I saw a post, I think it was from 2 years ago, where he's singing because I didn't know about Corey. I had no clue. and he's singing, and it literally brought tears to my eyes. Now, if you know me, you would know that like that does not happen very often. So yeah, any one of their songs, because I'm loving it, and I feel like I don't know where's the world been that they haven't like that these two guys have not exploded in their music career. Where's everybody?
I agree, but you know, I'm biased, so yeah,
Well, I'm not actually. I'm not. I wouldn't say it
no,
if I
it's
didn't mean
true.
it, right?
Exactly. All right. So pick a noun
Pick a noun. Shirt.
and a verb.
Happy. Oh, is that a verb? That's an adverb. Hold on. And a verb. Do.
You. And a who, what, when, where, why, or how.
Always the what.
All right. So when you are preparing to go to work for the day, what shirt do you choose? And why?
Okay. I choose the shirt that will make me look less pale than I truly am, because I'm like Casper the Ghost pale type of thing. So that's, I guess, the answer of why as well. I
Yeah,
choose whatever shirt is there that's, it's the color.
that works. Excellent. I guess I have one more question here. How would something like the Uplift World and Uplift Art change the narrative of how we explain art to children?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind as I'm sort of distilling your question would be it changes the narrative because of the NFT component and the digitization of their art. So their art can then become their legacy for more than one person. So one art piece traditionally goes into a museum or into a gallery or on a parent's refrigerator, but in this case for kids, they can mint an art piece, or Uplift Art can do that for them, uh, and Uplift World can mint an art piece and turn that one into many, whether it's a mint of 200, 2,000. And so this changes the dynamic where one child's art can potentially reach a multitude of people across the world. So I think that that's a powerful, powerful concept.
That is absolutely powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to check and see what the comments say here.
There are comments?
There are comments, oh my, on the YouTube. Somebody said
Wow.
something about the cat bag paradox. I think that's probably Schrodinger's cat. Is it in the bag or out of the bag, and how do we know? I'm not sure exactly what that
It's
related to.
whatever that means. It's half in the bag and kind of half out of the bag.
Yes, yes, that's probably it. And oh, that's about it for comments. Not a whole lot of questions or anything, so that's probably good. Is there anything that you want to add?
Just that I'm so glad to welcome you to the team. I'm so happy that you're part of the team. You truly made me laugh out loud the other day in your comment in our group when I told you I love you. Oh my God. And I had never met you. That was hysterical. Thank you very much. A
You're
highlight, by the
welcome.
way, of my day, because I thought it was just so smart, assy, and loved it.
Excellent.
And thank you, Jen. And hopefully, we will get to work together and and I can like showcase some of your Banksy of the Uplift stuff with some of the projects that we're working
That
on right now.
that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yay! Thanks,
So
Jen.
you're welcome. And on that note, I think we're good. And so this has been Jen's awesome show. I am here however often I can get people to talk with me because I have so many questions.
Love it.
I don't have another one scheduled yet, but I'm sure I will by the end of the day. And we will see you then. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.